And if Trump's not elected, it's not the end of the world for Bitcoin. It might be the end of the world for the U.S. economy, but maybe not. But certainly not for Bitcoin. So I'm very. I think we're in a very good position. I don't think that this October story is compromised here.
In a recent interview on Krueger's YouTube channel, Fred discusses how potential Federal Reserve rate cuts and upcoming economic events might drive Bitcoin's value higher. Fred explains how current liquidity trends and the approaching U.S. election could significantly impact Bitcoin's trajectory. The October 4, 2024 job market report also shows increased employment rates, adding pressure on the Federal Reserve to consider a potential 50 basis point rate cut in November, which could influence Bitcoin's price. At the time of the interview, Bitcoin is trading around $62,000, showing a 2% increase over the last 24 hours and a 5% decline over the past week.
You don't have time. Don't miss out this 2025 bull run. Educate yourself first ahead of the crowd. We have created the ultimate step-by-step crypto cheat guide that will guide you this bull run. Unlock the secrets of crypto and make smarter investments today. Now by clicking on the link below to get your exclusive copy just under $10.
Alaska's doing great. Trump's going to win. I hope so. Trump's going to win. I don't know. I think it's 50-50. I think you should, if you have money that you're going to invest, I would kind of invest it. I wouldn't sort of just trickle it out on DCA. I don't think that's a great idea because you might be trickling it out twice the price. I think we're going to go higher in Bitcoin, so I don't. These have typically been good buying opportunities, right? And I have this one page in our book about, Saylor says, it doesn't say war is good for Bitcoin, but he says chaos is good for Bitcoin. So whenever there's chaos, it does end up being good for Bitcoin. Maybe not on the day of the chaos, but overall it tends to be good for Bitcoin. So I was very, very impressed. I don't know about you guys, but I was very impressed with JD Vance. And I think he would make not only a good vice president, but a very good president. And I kind of wish he was running and not Trump, to be honest. So JD Vance owns Bitcoin and has owned it for 4 years, right? And meanwhile, what's his name? Waltz has not only does not own any Bitcoin, he doesn't own any stocks. He claims to own his own home, but the guy doesn't seem to have any assets, so I don't know. Like a guy like that possibly running the country is a little strange.
As we just heard, Fred Krueger analyzed the impact of Federal Reserve policies. Now, let's hear his take on why Bitcoin could become the top-performing asset by year-end. With a possible 50 basis point rate cut in November, the coming months could be crucial for Bitcoin. Let's dive into the insights Fred Krueger shares on this shifting market landscape.
Coinbase, I don't know. I don't use Coinbase AA, but I've used it. I have an account, but I don't actively use Coinbase. And as far as this 12-hour window stuff, I think this stuff is tinfoil hat stuff. I mean, BlackRock has all the BTC. They give Coinbase a window. Now, do I think Coinbase for like their base product and their, what's it called? CBBTC is 100% backed? I wouldn't trust that thing. I gotta tell you, I would not. Probably okay, but the fact that they don't have any proof of reserves or anything is just disturbing. So I wouldn't use Coinbase. There's better things to use, and of course, you should always self-custody, right? So, BlackRock's relation with Coinbase is not the same as your relation with Coinbase. They have dedicated addresses that are there. They're running their own nodes that they can verify that the Bitcoin in those dedicated addresses is actual Bitcoin. They're not just relying on some accountant once a quarter to verify the reserves. They're verifying those reserves in real time. So you don't have those dedicated addresses in Coinbase. You can't see where your Bitcoin is when you put it in. So not your keys. You can't see the Bitcoin. I'm out. I wouldn't be involved. So why do we discuss crypto and tax together? Crypto is supposed to be an exit. Yeah, supposed to, but you owe the taxes. And if you're living in the U.S., you owe the taxes. Now, I think some people may exit the U.S. They may just say, you know what, I am going to leave the U.S. I'm going to pay my exit tax, and I'm just going to, I'll bite the bullet and I'll go live in whatever country doesn't tax me. And there are a bunch of them, right? You can go live in Dubai. You can go live in, and a lot of people I know live in Dubai now. You can go live in El Salvador. You can live in a low tax environment where, like Switzerland, where they're just going to negotiate the tax with you every year. I love the US. I'm not going to leave, but if we get into extended Kamala, I might leave. Who knows? Be painful, but I might do it. But a lot of people don't have the choice. So, but I do take the point that BTC is supposed to be the exit from the system. And the best way you can at least have the option to do that is to self-custody. If you self-custody and you don't sell your Bitcoin, you don't owe any taxes, you're good. You're not, and you retain the optionality of easily leaving. If you put it in the ETF, the problem is that you've got to sell the Bitcoin, pay taxes. You're in the system. Money's not everything. So, but I do think that, and let's just keep our fingers crossed, because we may be in a positive tax and positive crypto regime, hopefully. And yeah, next Fed rate cut, November 6th. Right, that's the other thing. Let's not forget, we've got another rate cut coming. The ADT numbers were a little bit bigger today, so maybe 25 basis points. But it may be 50. It probably will be 50. America has this worldwide jurisdiction on your stuff. So even if you might be living in Thailand and you start selling a lot of your Bitcoin, in theory, you could be, you could have a tax liability in the U.S. And this is not something that they take lightly. So, they threw Al Capone in jail for not paying his taxes. So I wouldn't mess around with that personally. Trump's Bitcoin reserve proposal. Here, I don't think Trump really understands Bitcoin, but I think the people around Trump understand Bitcoin. I think Vivek totally understands Bitcoin. I think JD understands Bitcoin. And I think RFK understands Bitcoin. So I think he's got a great set of people around him, and I'm very optimistic that. And he keeps on talking about this, which is also very good to me. He's like, I heard him say that the other day, that this might help us solve the debt. So the fact that it's kind of on his mind is very good to me. So I love that. I love that aspect of this.
Fred Krueger forecasts a potential explosive rally for Bitcoin in the coming months, with highs that could surpass expectations. We'd love to hear your thoughts on a few questions. Do you think a Federal Reserve rate cut could significantly boost Bitcoin prices? And how are you preparing for the volatility leading up to the elections? For more Daily Dose Crypto news, check out these 2 awesome videos on your screen. Click now and we will see you on the next video.